I graduated from a music conservatory and have the skills to seriously pursue a career as a pianist. Don't compare me to amateurs like you who play just for fun.
My daughter-in-law looked down on us because of her music background. My son didn't say a word in his own defense when she belittled his playing.
I'm probably the only woman who would marry a loser like you.
My daughter-in-law looked down on him and controlled him emotionally. My son lacked confidence and let her walk all over him. He's such a kind and charming guy, so why doesn't he divorce that awful woman? He needs more self-confidence. I felt frustrated with my son and couldn't forgive my daughter-in-law for insulting him. One day, my husband and I ran into my son and his wife at a jazz bar. The pianist scheduled to perform didn't show up, and the staff were panicking, so my husband and I offered to play, causing quite a stir. This led to an unexpected turn of events. I'm Sally, 72 years old. I live with my husband, Greg. When my son Charles was born, the busy and lively days flew by. He got married, and my husband retired. With just the two of us, we now enjoy leisurely mornings, brunches at cafes, and playing our favorite musical instruments. I play the piano, and Greg plays the drums. Sometimes we even have impromptu jazz sessions together. Our shared love for music kept us from ever getting bored with each other. Life seemed fulfilling, but I had one worry. It was about my daughter-in-law, Amy. Our relationship had been terrible since the day we met her.
Nice to meet you, I'm Amy.
My first impression of her was a bit cool but polite. Not too bad.
Charles, hurry up and give them the gift. Don't be such a slowpoke.
Oh, sorry.
Her words seemed harsh, but Charles's laid-back nature might need someone to push him a bit. I thought she was just a strong-minded person at the time.
Do you play the piano, Sally?
Amy asked, noticing our piano. Our home isn't spacious, so we keep an upright piano and electronic drums in the living room. I used to teach Charles piano and play together there. Yes, I play for fun. Charles used to play too. Brings back memories.
I heard Charles play. He's terrible.
Excuse me? I couldn't believe my ears. I couldn't believe she'd talk badly about my son who's getting married soon. I thought she might be teasing, but she continued with a smirk.
He's always making mistakes. I couldn't stand listening. I can't believe he's been playing for over 10 years.
How can you say that?
It's the truth. I majored in piano at a music conservatory. I'm a music teacher now, but I almost went pro. I've got a good ear. Charles's playing is unbearable.
Charles turned red and looked down. I couldn't forgive her. Charles wasn't bad at all. There was a time when he used to say he wanted to become a pianist. He practiced very hard, but ended up failing the entrance exam for the School of Music at a state university. Failing the School of Music at a state university isn't uncommon. It's very competitive because the tuition is low. You could try private universities.
No, it's too expensive. I can't do it.
Charles's spirit was crushed. After that, he almost stopped playing the piano. More than 10 years passed, and he began playing occasionally when he visited home, seemingly having made peace with his feelings. Though his technical skills were rusty, he played with joy. Listening to his performance became a small pleasure for me. And yet, Amy insulted him, calling him terrible.
It's okay, Mom. It's the truth.
Despite your saying,
Amy graduated from the School of Music at a state university I wanted to attend. Isn't that amazing? Unlike me, she's beautiful too.
You understand completely. You have no musical talent. You're clumsy and should just keep quiet and earn money.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, I've been quiet for long enough.
Dad. Please, stop.
my husband, Greg, couldn't hold back his anger, his face turning red as he raised his voice. However, Amy didn't seem to care, looking triumphant. Charles desperately tried to stop Greg, who, though silent now, still looked dissatisfied. I was simply stunned. Could someone behave so poorly at a marriage greeting? There seemed to be no love for my son. Charles, are you really going to marry Amy?
Yeah. Amy is the only one who would marry someone like me.
That's not true.
It is true. I have no one but Amy.
Charles's cry was full of pain. He had always been humble, but had he ever been this lacking in self-confidence? Amy smiled with satisfaction at Charles's words. Despite my objections, Charles insisted on marrying Amy, and they registered their marriage. Since then, Charles has been under Amy's thumb. She refused to do housework, claiming it would roughen her hands, leaving all chores to Charles after he came home from work. He sometimes called to say he was struggling, but when I suggested he leave her, he always refused. I couldn't understand Charles's feelings. But then, a shocking event occurred. That day, I had come to buy a birthday present for Greg. Since turning 70, my knees had started to hurt, making walking difficult, so Charles drove me. We were walking through the shopping center, planning to choose something together, when we saw a familiar figure.
Is that Amy?
Charles muttered. Amy was walking arm in arm with a man. That's really her. Do you know that guy?
No, I don't.
Does she have any siblings?
She's an only child.
Charles turned pale. As soon as I understood the situation, I quickly stepped out from behind the cover. Hey, Amy, who's this man?
What are you doing here?
Never mind us. I'm asking what kind of relationship you have with that man.
Oh, I'm out of here.
Yeah. See you.
The man who was arm in arm with Amy quickly left, and she waved at him, looking disappointed. And then Amy sighed and crossed her arms.
Could you not interfere, please?
Interfere? Are you having an affair?
And if I were?
What? What do you mean?
Will you divorce me? I don't mind.
Amy showed no remorse, standing there confidently. Her unexpected attitude left me at a loss. I looked at Charles, who was staring at the floor, his eyes wandering. Amy approached him and put her arm around his shoulder.
Are you okay with a divorce? No one else would marry a boring, clumsy man like you.
Hey, how can you say that to Charles?
Because it's true. You should be grateful I married you despite your zero experience with women before me. Would you be okay with a divorce? Being lonely in your old age?
That's not.
Amy spoke to Charles, her hand on his shoulder. Her tone was almost like she was brainwashing him.
And didn't you want to marry someone who could play the piano? A family that loves music? You won't find anyone else who's good at piano and beautiful like me, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Charles, don't listen to her. You're a wonderful person. Have more confidence.
Who do you think is right, Sally or me? If you divorce now and end up alone, your future is bleak. Sally will probably pass away before you. She doesn't care about what happens to you after that.
That's not true. Sure, you don't have siblings, but you have friends, and you might meet someone nice.
And if you can't remarry, it'll be Sally's fault. Living alone in old age, that's just sad.
Amy's words were absurd, making Charles believe he couldn't live without her and controlling him. I knew I had to make him leave Amy, so I raised my voice. Charles, you really should break up with her.
I'm sorry, Mom. I'm not breaking up with her.
Why not?
You wouldn't understand, Mom. You can do anything. You're good at cooking, and you play the piano. No matter how hard I tried, I could never surpass you.
Charles slumped, staring at the ground. I never realized I was pushing him so hard. I'm not that great at cooking, and even though I kept my professional past a secret, I'm not an extraordinary person. But Charles compared himself to me and lost more and more confidence.
See? Sally never noticed how hurt Charles was. I'm the only one on his side. Let's go.
Wait, Charles. Let's talk this through. Charles turned away, letting Amy lead him by the hand. He walked away. I stood there, shocked. When I told Greg about it, he turned red with anger.
What the hell is that? Sally, you're not to blame at all. It's all Amy's fault.
But I never realized how hurt Charles was. If I'd paid more attention to him earlier, he wouldn't have lost so much confidence.
Then, I'm guilty too.
Tears welled up in my eyes. Charles had always been shy and struggled to express his feelings. I thought waiting until he was ready to talk was best, but maybe I was wrong. I couldn't forgive myself for unintentionally hurting him.
Sally, we need to talk this through with Charles. It's not about who's to blame.
Greg tried his best to comfort me, but my mood didn't improve. A few days later, I was still troubled about Charles. Around that time, my husband, who had gone shopping, came back with a flyer.
Sally, listen to this. A famous pianist, Martin, is coming to the nearby jazz bar.
What? Martin is coming? Martin is a professional pianist known not only for his skill, but also for his excellent talk show presence, making frequent TV appearances. My husband and I love his piano performances and have bought his CDs. He plays everything from classical to jazz, but he often performs classical and pop songs on TV. If he's coming to a jazz bar, we'll probably get to hear some jazz. This is a rare opportunity.
Why don't we go together? It could be a nice change of pace.
Oh, it should be amazing. Let's go. So we quickly made a reservation. On the day of the event, unfortunately, a hurricane hit. It was raining heavily, and the wind was strong, causing transportation to halt. Even so, when we walked to the venue, it was bustling with a large audience. Everyone's feet and clothes were wet, but they still wanted to hear Martin play. As we looked around the bar, we spotted our son and his wife.
Dad, Even Mom is here.
Hi, Charles.
I was surprised to see them, and Charles averted his gaze.
Oh, Sally, you're here too.
Yes, we love Martin's performances.
Can amateurs like you even appreciate Martin's talent? He taught me as a special instructor when I was in music school. Impressive, right?
Oh, right.
Amy was bragging, smiling smugly. It irritated me, but I didn't want to cause a scene and spoil the chance to hear Martin play. I held Greg's hand to stop him from arguing back. Just then, the room started to buzz. The staff seemed to be in a hurry. Then the owner took the stage and deeply apologized.
We are very sorry. Due to the typhoon, Martin's arrival has been delayed. It will take at least an hour and a half for him to get here. We ask for your patience.
You've got to be kidding. We came all this way in terrible weather.
Yes. What are we supposed to do in the meantime?
There were boos from the audience.
We came all this way for nothing. We can't wait an hour and a half, even if a meal is included.
Amy complained, too. Some people started to leave, even though this was a rare chance to hear Martin. I couldn't stand it and suggested to my husband,
Let's go and perform.
What did you say? We perform?
yes, we can fill the time until Martin arrives.
Are you serious? People came here to hear a professional. They'll boo you off the stage.
Amy mocked me, but I ignored her and looked at Greg. He understood how I felt and nodded.
All right, let's do it. I'll talk to the owner.
Greg spoke with the owner, and we took the stage. Fortunately, since it was a jazz bar, there were drums available. We took a moment to calm our nerves and then looked at each other. Then we started playing. As we started playing, the noisy audience quieted down.
Who are they? That was amazing.
Before we knew it, even the audience about to leave had sat down and were engrossed in our performance. Feeling encouraged by their reaction, my husband and I started adding some improvisation and engaging the audience, making them laugh. At that moment, I made eye contact with Charles. He looked at us in surprise. Feeling excited, I walked over to Charles and took his hand.
Mom? What are you doing?
Let's play together.
What? But,
Music is all about having fun. The song was When You Wish Upon a Star, which we used to play together when he was in elementary school. Greg was ready on the drums, waiting for us to start. Don't worry, just follow my lead. Despite his nervousness, Charles placed his hands on the piano keys. And then he started playing the piano. He must have remembered the song from all the practice he did back then. I smiled as I watched him play smoothly. Cheers and applause came from the audience. With the positive response, Charles's expression brightened, and he played the piano happily. It was as if he had gone back to his elementary school days. Before we knew it, an hour and a half had flown by. As we finished the song, there was a loud applause. Standing there was the pianist, Martin.
Bravo! That was a wonderful performance.
Thank you.
With Martin's arrival, we figured our job was done, and we started to step down from the stage. But he stopped us.
Are you family?
Yes, this is my husband and my son.
No wonder your performance was so in sync. Everyone else thought so too, right?
The audience responded with a thunderous applause. Amy, clearly displeased, marched up to the stage and approached Martin.
Martin, do you remember me? You taught me piano once.
Who? Sorry, I don't remember.
Oh. Well, please listen to my performance too. These people just play piano as a hobby, but I aim to be a professional, so I can play much better.
Martin looked puzzled as Amy suddenly interrupted the conversation and started talking.
If you want to play so badly, go ahead.
Amy smirked at me.
You'll be embarrassed by my performance.
She whispered in my ear, making me feel uneasy. Then she started playing the piano. The audience listened quietly. After she finished, she looked smug, but Martin simply said,
That's just average.
Did you say average?
Yes, you're not bad, but your performance isn't enjoyable. It lacks the charm I saw earlier.
That's not true. I can't lose to an amateur.
As Amy screamed hysterically, Martin shook his head in exasperation.
If you truly believe that, then you lack the sense. You said you aim to be a professional, but it's impossible. If it's just about playing well, a robot can do that.
Amy's face turned red with anger as she glared at me. Feeling a sense of satisfaction, I watched as Martin walked over to our table.
How long have you been playing the piano?
Well, I used to be a professional. My husband was also in a band as a percussionist.
What? Really? Could you tell me your name?
My maiden name is Williams. I'm Sally Williams.
What? Sally Williams?
People around us, who had been listening to the conversation, started to buzz. Some of the people in the same age group seemed to recognize my name. Martin then grabbed my hand, his eyes shining.
Wait a minute. I'm a fan of yours, Sally.
What? Of me?
Yes. I started learning piano after listening to your performances. I always wanted to perform with you, but then you retired. I never imagined meeting you here.
Martin looked so happy that Amy came over, looking surprised.
Wait a minute. What do you mean, a former pianist?
You didn't know? Sally was a renowned pianist with awards from international competitions. She performed abroad a lot, and her concerts in the US were always highly competitive.
No one told me that.
Mom, why didn't you tell me either?
Seeing Charles's dejected look, my husband and I lowered our heads. I'm sorry for keeping it a secret. The reason I quit being a pianist was because I got pregnant with you, Charles. I couldn't continue my career and decided to retire. I thought you'd blame yourself if you knew.
So, it's my fault you couldn't continue your career as a pianist?
No, that's not it. I did want to continue my career. But more than that, I wanted to have you. I've never regretted my decision. The time I spent with you is my greatest treasure. Tears streamed down Charles's face. I always loved listening to you play the piano because you look so happy. It was fun playing together today.
Your son's performance was excellent too. The joy in his playing really came through.
Really?
Charles blushed at Martin's compliment. Behind him, Amy was glaring at us with a face like a demon.
How dare you embarrass me? Keeping your pianist background a secret.
I didn't mean to. Just as I was about to say something to her, Martin stepped in between Amy and me.
You were the one trying to embarrass them.
What? No, I wasn't.
You boasted about being better than them from the start. This isn't a competition. If you want to show off your piano skills so badly, enter a competition. Don't ruin the enjoyable atmosphere of this jazz bar.
Martin's words were met with cheers from the audience, who had been watching. Amy, red-faced and trembling with anger, spat out.
I won't forgive you.
She stormed out of the bar. After that, Martin started his performance, and we enjoyed the delicious food and music. On the way home, I walked with Charles and my husband. Charles, I love your piano playing. It doesn't matter if you aren't the best in competitions. I love seeing you enjoy playing. You have so many other great qualities.
That's right. You're hardworking and dedicated. Be proud of that.
Dad, Mom.
Though we didn't talk much more that night. A few days later, Charles called to say he was getting a divorce, and my husband and I were overjoyed.
I won't waste any more of my life on someone like Amy.
Seeing Charles so resolute, I felt relieved. Afterward, we heard that Amy was being sued for a large amount of alimony and was struggling to pay it off. She had always been a big spender and had used up Charles' salary. After the divorce, she tried to rely on her lover, but he was also married and wouldn't help her. It didn't end there. She was seen several times stalking her lover near his workplace and causing public scenes, which eventually led to her affair being exposed, and she lost her job. She then tried to start a piano school to make a living and rented an expensive soundproof room, but with no reputation or students, she only accumulated more debt. It was all her own doing. After the divorce, my son gained confidence and happily talked about going to concerts with a woman who also loves music. I was overjoyed to see such a change in him. And what made me happiest was that we started playing music together again. I'm sure there's a woman out there who will appreciate his qualities. I wholeheartedly wish for my son's happiness in the future.